All right, hello, good evening, everyone. You are now watching live the Primo Modelo TV, your online channel, and I'm so happy and excited to announce that for today's episode is another new exciting panel discussion led by our panel moderator. There's no other than Mariel Prion, the Miss Teen Glam International 2020. Once again, my name is Mia Gusi, and I'm your host for this evening, but I will not be joining them together here on the panel discussion. And for today's topic will be about mental health awareness. And as you can see on the ticker below, you can see they put the title self enlightenment. All right, and we're going to feature four beautiful ladies here on the panel discussion of Marielle Prion, the Miss Teen Glam International 2020, and they are from Europe, Asia, and the Philippines. So congratulations to all the ladies out there. Later on, we'll know more about them. And for all the viewers out there, I would just like to remind you, you can share this live episode today, and we're live today on our YouTube channel, the Primo Modelo TV, and also live officially in the Facebook page of Little and Teen Glam International. So yes, if you are interested to join us for an exciting talk about the mental health, you can drop your questions down below and we'll put it on the screen so our panel moderators will be able to answer them directly to you guys. And don't forget to like and share our social media accounts of Primo Modelo TV for those who'd like to do a live interview, live shows, or whatever you would like to do here on Primo Modelo TV. It's all free. You can chat me here on our official Facebook page, Primo Modelo TV. Also, we are active on our Instagram at Primo Modelo TV. So thank you so much, guys, for coming and watching. To all the 15 viewers for this evening, Mabuhay Philippines, you are watching Primo Modelo TV all the way from the Philippines. And we'll be right back for a short minute break, and I will be together joined here with our panel moderator, Mariel Prion. Hello guys, once again we're live here on Primo Modelo TV together with my co-host and the master of the shows, evenings shows.
Oh
now,
wow.
now I'm stuttering. Yes, of course, our panel moderator is Mariel Prion. How are you, Mariel?
Everyone, I'm doing great. I feel a bit tired because earlier this day I had my ramp training for an upcoming fashion show.
Okay, so how was it? And I heard that this fashion show is fast approaching, and now it's going to be on Tuesday. So can you tell us more about it
Yeah,
for
but
a little
on
while?
Tuesday, we'll be recording the show and then having a photo shoot as well. And it's going to be premiered in London.
Okay, that's nice. All right. So, and we would like to greet good morning maybe to the Londoners there and also from all the way from Europe. Hello, good evening everyone here from the Philippines. And today's panel discussion is what is it all about, Marielle?
Which one? The talk or the upcoming show?
Yeah, the talk for this evening's panel discussion. What is it all about, and what topics would you are going to discuss this evening?
Alright, so for our second panel discussion, we'll be talking about hashtag mental health because last January, during our first panel discussion, we talked about diversity. So now
Mhm.
we want to focus on a different field this time, which is
Okay.
all about mental health. And we want to give awareness toward it because I think that not everyone knows a lot about it. I mean, for sure, people have heard about it, but when it comes to knowledge or proper education about it, only a few of us, I think, know more about it because I think there are a lot of negative misconceptions, or maybe people have their own assumptions about it that they're not yet ready to open up to it. And I'm hoping that through this panel discussion, we'll be able to open up this topic to many people from
All
around the
right.
world.
Okay, that's good news from you, Marielle, and thank you so much to the four ladies that you've invited for this panel discussion, which is all about the mental health awareness, which is now, I know, relatable topic for everyone in this world, because since the pandemic has struck the whole world, we are going through some things like this one, like depression, anxiety, stress, and being so overthinking, right? So I hope those people who are interested to hear this topic for today, and if you'd like to join us together for this beautiful topic, you can drop down below all your thoughts, not only questions. You can share your thoughts here, and we'll put it on the screen so we can talk about all the things that other people doesn't know about the mental health awareness. And anyway, Marielle, let us now welcome the four beautiful ladies, and they are all beauty queens from around the world. Please welcome our first panel speaker, Miss Jelly Danca from the Philippines. Hello, Jelly. Good evening.
Hi,
Hi.
Jelly. How are
Thank you
you?
for being here.
It's
I'm
nice to
okay.
see you
I'm
here, Jelly,
excited.
and thank you so much for accepting the invite to be one of the panel speakers. How do you feel right now? Is this your first time to do a panel discussion?
Yes, and I'm delighted to be here.
All right. Are you excited to know about the other panel speakers? Let us all welcome Eva Grant from London. Hello, Eva. Good evening.
Hi,
Hi, how are
Hi.
Hi.
you?
I'm good. How are
Hello.
you?
We are really good and we're excited to talk about this topic for today. And I wish you good luck, guys. And the next panel speaker is from India, Sudeshna Nayak. Hello, Sudeshna. Good evening.
Hi.
Hi,
How are you today?
I'm good. How are you all today?
Yes, we are really fine, and I hope you are all fine there in your places and you are being safe. And yes, and the last panel speaker. Good evening to Jasmine Pierce. Hello, Jasmine. Okay, I think she left for a while. Hello, Jasmine. We are so glad to meet you here, and I hope you can hear us right now. All right, Marielle. So, we're about to start our live panel discussion, which is Path to Self Enlightenment. This is a virtual panel discussion, which means it's going to
Yes.
be live streamed all over the YouTube channel and the Facebook. So please, if you have time, please do click the share button of this live episode. And don't forget to click the like and share button of our social media accounts. Thank you so much. And good evening to all the viewers right there. They are all watching. Hello, good evening to Belen Padilla. She is watching. Sir Germa Danka. She says, beauty, brain, and talent. So proud of you, Jelly. Wow, you have some fans. Anyway, Marielle,
Thank you.
all right, we can hear you. Okay, but before that, before we go on to the interesting topic and the most exciting part of this live episode, let's talk about you yourselves, guys. Let's go first with Eva. Hello, Eva. Would you like to
Hi.
introduce yourself with us first?
So my name is Eve Marie Grant. I'm 14 and I come from York in England.
Okay. Wow. And I heard you are also a beauty queen. Would you like to share us which beauty pageants have you joined lately?
So I'm a finalist in a recent pageant which is UK's National Junior Miss. So I'm competing for the title of UK's National Miss in March hopefully, but I think it might be postponed.
Okay, that's great. And how old are you?
I'm 14.
14. Wow, you guys are all young ladies. And hello
Yeah.
to Jasmine Pierce. Good
Hi,
evening from the
Jasmine.
Philippines. Hello, Jasmine. All right, it's so nice to see you here. And wow, she's already wearing her sash and crown. All right. And let's go to Sudeshna Nayak. Hello, Sudeshna. Would you like to introduce yourself with us first?
Hi, I'm 15 years old today, now from Bengal in India. And I apologize for my dog barking right now.
It's all right. It's totally fine.
Okay.
Okay. Which
I
beauty
actually,
pageant have you joined, Sudeshna?
I'm currently a finalist of the Miss India presented by the Glamour Project.
Okay. And how old are you?
15.
15. You're all
You're also
teenagers,
young.
and it's really nice to be with you today on this live virtual panel discussion. And now let's go on next to Jasmine Pierce. Hello, Jasmine. Introduce yourself with us.
I'm Jasmine.
All right. I guess you are having a trouble with your audio because we can't hear it. But anyway, all right. You're from London, right? Okay. How old are you?
I'm 17.
17. And which beauty pageant have you been to?
Miss Global Darling. It's a relatively new pageant over here in the UK.
Wow. Okay. What advocacy do you support, Jasmine?
I support both mental health and the Meningitis Research Foundation.
Wow, that's great. Okay, so that's really nice of you. And to our last panel speaker, hello, Jelly Danka. Please introduce yourself because I think you are the youngest of the group.
Hi, my name is Jelly DANGCA. I'm from Philippines. I was third runner-up in the Miss Teen Glam Philippines, which is why I'm here. I'm delighted to be here, and I'm 13 years old.
All right. What advocacy do you support in?
Well, my advocacy was mental health awareness and equality and anti-discrimination.
All right, that's great. So, Mariel, you can now lead the beautiful panel discussion for this evening, and I will leave you right here, guys. And good luck, everyone.
All right, so once again, good day to everyone. And to all the viewers watching us right now, welcome to our second panel discussion here at Primo Modelo TV entitled Queen's Conference Path to Self-Enlightenment, hashtag Mental Health. And before we get started, here are some reminders. Number one, panel speakers are given 5 to 7 minutes to share their insights per question. Number two, for a smooth flow of the talk, the panel speakers will take turns in speaking in this order per question. The first to speak is Miss Jasmine Pierce. Second is Miss Jelly Danka. Third is Miss Sudeshna Nayak. And fourth is Miss Eva Grant. And to all the viewers, if you have any questions for our panel speakers, kindly put it on the comments section. Your questions will be entertained later after the event proper. And number four, after the third question, We'll be having a 5-minute break. And lastly, number 5, to avoid any interruptions, to all the panel speakers, kindly turn off your microphones if it is not yet your turn to speak. Thank you so much. And now let us move on to the event proper. So, for our first question, how do you define mental health and what are the common misconceptions about it? Let's first start with Miss Jasmine.
Thank you. So while over here the English dictionary defines mental health as a person's condition with regard to their psychological and emotional well-being, I believe it to be each individual's own tipping point. It decides how their day, week, month, or even their year could pan out. Our mental health may be invisible, but it stems from our brains, a vital organ that needs just as much care as any other part of the body. Invisible does not mean fictitious. The UK mental health charity Mind shows that 1 in 4 will suffer with mental health issues in 1 year. Yet common misconceptions have attached a stigma to those suffering with it. Many children and young adults are told they're going through hormonal. This makes some believe that they're overreacting and can lead to them suffering in silence, and can also teach those around them that they don't need to help or step in or try and support them. You don't see someone trying to hide a broken leg, yet so many are fighting a war inside of them completely alone due to so many other people's ignorance on the topic.
Well, thank you so much. And I do agree when you said that when it comes to mental health, this is an invisible issue, meaning that it cannot be seen by the eye. And because of it, many people often think that it is not something to be much concerned about. But it really is because, like what you said, the brain is a part of who we are, and it is just as important as to all the body parts that we have that makes us who we are. So thank you so much to Miss Jasmine. Let's now move on to Miss Jelly Danka.
Hi. Okay. Mental health is having a sound mind. It means that you can recognize your own abilities and you are able to use them to contribute to the community. Being mentally healthy means that you can relate to others and you are able to handle daily difficulties in life. And our mental health is very important to us because our mental state has the ability to mold or influence the way we behave. It can affect the way we act towards other people, how we handle stress, how we make choices, etc. And there are quite a few common misconceptions. For example, sometimes people think that when you are not mentally healthy, it automatically means that you're crazy or broken or weak, which is not true because having struggles with your mental health is an illness that requires medical attention. And it's also helpful that the people around you are supportive and can lend a helping hand. Thank you.
Thank you, Jelly. And you're completely right when you said that mental health affects our whole entirety, how we behave, act, and interact with other people. And it is important that we recognize that mental health affects our whole entirety. And
All right, guys, I think Marielle has lost her connection, so I'm going to continue her talk. We totally agree with you, Jelly, and also I agree with all the viewers out here. Now they are watching, and they said that our topic for today is very timely, okay? And I would like to ask you, Jelly, you are 13 years old, and did you ever feel sometimes of being like you're not mentally healthy, you're just inside the house, you can't go out, you have limited actions and activities to do? So can you share it with us?
Well, yeah. because ever since the pandemic happened, I've been really upset that I wasn't
Mm-mm.
able to meet up with my friends.
Yes, yes.
And well, even though, because like, yeah, we transitioned to online learning, and to me, even though it's online, for me, sometimes I lose my motivation for some
Mm-hmm.
reason. But I I learned to stay strong and look on the bright side, and I learned that it's better to get things over with so they're done better. And I started to do the things that I love so that I could have a more positive mindset and so that I could do the things that I do better.
All
Thank
right,
you.
I totally agree with you, Jelly. You know, to all the viewers out there, especially the adults, I know it's really it's crazy to think that oh, they are kids and they are stressing themselves out. You know, we also experience this kind of things. You know, this kind of situations in our lives. You know, at a very young age, and we are experiencing stress, anxiety, peer pressure, mental tiredness, and whatever it is, it's not impossible. It can hit or strike anyone who are experiencing this kind of feelings, you know. And it's totally I would just like to say that it's totally normal for teenagers like us. Yeah, I'm not a teenager, I mean, but you know, for my friends who are here in this panel discussion, I understand and I know that it's totally normal for even in their age they can actually experience those kind of mental health difficulties and problems that they try to focus on. And I know that like Eva, Jasmine, Sudeshna, and Jelly are also experiencing, and even though they are not really open well to this, because you know it's sometimes I would just like to share this one, guys. While Mariel is away and while we're waiting for her internet to come back, to all the parents out there, please do understand your children, especially the teenagers, because they are experiencing this kind of situation. You need to be open. You need to be free with talking with them about this topic. You know, because teenagers, that is the age where people getting what do you call this, shy, and shy to open up with this topic. So I hope the adults would be more understanding and more open with this topic. All right, let's go back to you, Mariel.
Thank you, and my apologies. I had internet connection problems. So now let's move on to our third speaker, Miss Sudeshna. It is your turn to share your insights.
Hello. I personally feel that mental health is a very broad topic, and we ourselves cannot just define mental health in just a couple of sentences. The definition varies from each person and each perspective. So I'll leave that to all of you out there to define mental health in your own way. And as for the misconceptions about mental health, I cannot speak for the world as I haven't visited the world and heard about it much. But in India, one of the most common misconceptions is that once you tell people out there that you have mental issues, they'll just classify you as a lunatic or as someone who needs to be locked up in a mental asylum. You'll be outcasted from the society, denied job offers, and stuff like that. And I just want to like say that there are so many parts to mental health. Like just because someone has a mental health issue doesn't mean that the person needs to feel any different than the rest of us. We all go through stuff and we should totally normalize it. It's just a phase that's probably gonna go away after a while. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, and that's absolutely correct. I do agree with what you said that just because you have a mental health issue, it doesn't make you any less of a human being because it is normal. It is a part of who we are. We all go through it, whether we want it or not. But really, mental health is something that all of us should be really well aware of because At this time and age of being in the pandemic, I'm sure that all of us had struggled in our own way, and later we will dive more into that for the second question. So now let's move on to Miss Eva Grant.
Hi. So mental health can differ from person to person, whether it's how long they have it for, or different situations they're going through. It's not only the person that tells people the most; it's sometimes the person that keeps it in. So you might not know someone's suffering until they actually tell you. So mental health is an issue. It can affect anyone around the world. It can be no matter what your age is, how old you are. It doesn't matter. It can affect anyone, whether it's something that's happening to you personally or someone to your family members. Mental health is an issue that we do need to help people with, whether it's if they need helping to talk to, or whether they just need a friend, or during these current circumstances, it's hard to talk to people. So you can talk to people via social media or stuff like that. As well as this, mental health can, it's not, people sometimes suffer in silence, and I want to make sure people never suffer in silence. Thank you.
Wow, I totally
Well,
agree
thank you
with
so
Eva.
much.
Yeah.
Yeah. We all have our own personal struggles, and it's okay if you're not gonna share it yet. But the problem is, if you keep all the issues to yourself, if you keep the problems all to yourself, it will build up over time, and that will become an issue in itself. So it's really important to open up to people, to share it with your friends or a family member if you're going through something. It's okay to not to be okay. So now let's move on to the second question. And we're going to get a bit personal because the second question actually asks each of us to share a personal story of about mental health or what we went through in this matter. So to all the speakers, would you be willing to share your story on how you became advocates for mental health? Have you gone through it? Have you experienced it or from a friend? It is entirely up to you. So let us first begin with Miss Jasmine.
Thank you. My anxiety was mainly triggered by high school bullies. It started off with the name calling that you'd almost expect in high school, not that it by any means makes it acceptable. And then it further snowballed from there. I experienced getting my hair pulled, I had my things taken, I had horrible phone calls from hidden numbers and texts. I thought in my own ignorance that moving schools would help, not realizing that in such a small county, people from different schools talk to one another. In my final year of high school, after being at my new school for around 2 years, my anxiety really started to rear its head. Going into school caused me to have panic attacks. There wasn't a part of me that had the strength to walk through the doors. But after the incredible support of my family, I managed to make the first step to enter the school. However, in doing so, I faced being called an attention seeker, a drama queen, amongst many other things, simply because I have anxiety. I didn't have a solid support network or any friends in the school who I could turn to or rely on. My anxiety feeds off feeling alone, being isolated, and worrying what people think of me. I spent so long trying to please other people by changing who I am, and it wasn't until I actually started my pageant journey that I learned that the right people will love and accept me for exactly who I am, with absolutely no conditions on that. Pageants have also given me some incredible friends who I can rely on, and a support network through my pageant family. My story is definitely rocky and bumpy at best, but it's also made me me. And while that's been really, really tricky for me to deal with, I'm very proud of who I've become because of it. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing that personal story. And I can actually relate with you because when I was in high school as well, I think during my seventh grade up until eighth grade, I also experienced bullying. And the sad part about it is the people that I once called my friends, they're the ones who are bullying me as well. So it was really difficult. And like what you said, I also experienced like having my hair pulled. I experienced it a few times. And then I also experienced people telling me that I'm not good enough because just the way I look, that I look different. And when we share these kinds of stories, it's important to realize that we are not alone. And even if we're from different countries, there are similar stories that are bound to connect us with each other. So thank you so much, Miss Jasmine, for sharing your story. And I hope to all the viewers watching right now, I hope you will feel inspired by all of us sharing these personal information about us. And we're doing this for the sake of telling everyone here, right now, in this live panel discussion that when it comes to mental health, it usually stems from experience. It is not just something that we say, oh, we advocate for this because we want to, but because we know that it will help other people as well. It's not just about us, it's also about you. So thank you so much to Miss Jasmine. Let's now move on to Miss Jelly.
Hi. Okay, so my personal story happened last year because we all know that quarantine hasn't been the best for everyone, and it used to be the same with me. As I said, I used to often get upset about not being able to meet up with my friends from school, and I find myself missing them a lot. So I decided to start doing the things that I love. And I even tried finding new hobbies so that I could cope with being away from those I care about. And I've started to feel way better after. And besides, my family's always there for me, and quarantine definitely made us closer. And now that I've survived almost a year through this pandemic, I feel more mentally and emotionally healthy. Not just because I found new ways to cope, but also because I found ways to connect with people without having to compromise my own health. Thank you.
Thank you, Jelly. And from what you said, I think that for you, you missed the old normal, like the old life that we used to had before the pandemic, wherein you can meet your friends all the time, your family, like there's no limit because it's safe. And we all do, we all miss that. And I've been through it last year as well. And later, I'll be sharing a personal story too. So that relates to what you just said earlier. So thank you so much, Jelly. Let's now move on to Miss Sudeshna.
Hi. Talking about my personal story is still very hard for me, but I think that I should just get it out there so I can inspire at least someone, at least one person there. My mental health actually started deteriorating from like a very young age. I moved to Nigeria when I was only 7 months, so I've been alone there with my parents. And we were one of the only families, so it was very tough there, given with the bad situation. There used to be gunshots, like every night we would hear gunshots and armed robbery and all those. They were very common over there, and those definitely left a scar on me. But it actually kind of worsened after I moved back to India. Like I wasn't able to cope up well with the change in people. Plus, my teachers and schoolmates were very fond of me. I don't know if they're jealous or something, but I was often bullied for being an outsider there. And I just wouldn't fit in with any of the groups out there. It wasn't very easy at first. I first told my mom, and she was extremely supportive. But then, like, it started getting more worse. The study pressure came crashing down on me. Plus, the trauma of how I left Nigeria also came crashing down on me. It was really hard, and I don't think I've still fully recovered from it. Back then, my coping method was by self-harming, something which I'm not very proud of. But I finally started to learn to be me. The pageant that I entered, this is my first pageant, and it really helped me a lot to find who I am as a person and what I want. So that was one of the stepping stones in my life. It helped me believe in myself, and sitting here in front of you as myself, truly myself. I think it's thanks to all my friends and family and the pageant, of course, which helped me to get here. And of course, I'm definitely a suicide survivor because I did try it, not just once, twice. And now looking back, I just feel like if all those didn't happen, I never would have been here, just being so true and honest with myself. So, yes. It just don't be disheartened if you ever face troubles. We all face troubles. You just have to fight through it, and believe me, the world is really beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing your story with us. And I know it has been really difficult for you to go through all of that from a very young age. And like what you said, I agree that you are indeed a survivor. And just by being here in this panel discussion with us, you are showing how strong you are as a woman, as a human being, and that you're here with a mission. And I salute you for it. And we support you in your pageant journey. And I'm so glad that you found happiness and you found a sense of enlightenment through this platform that pageantry provides for all of us. So thank you so much. And lastly, Miss Eva, it's your turn.
Someone very close to me and my family has suffered with mental health. It's gone on for quite a few years now and it's still happening today. I've seen firsthand how it affects the sufferer and also the families around them. I've seen firsthand them crumble in tears, but I've also seen how we came together and helping one another, because sometimes the hardest times can also bring you back together. I want to make sure and help people educate and make sure that know that there is light at the end of the tunnel. And yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. And I would like to share as well an experience, like what you said earlier, that you encountered people with mental health issues, like families and friends. And I also experienced that in high school. I had some friends who went through difficult times, and it was really hard to see them that way. It was so difficult for me to see them having a hard time with themselves, because they're my friends and they mean so much to me. And to see them in that state, that almost every day they would cry, they would blame themselves for something that is not their fault. So it is a very serious issue that is not being taken seriously. That's the plot twist of this matter. So later, we'll be having a next segment of the talk that talks about how can we promote mental health. And for my part, I'll be sharing as well a personal experience. And this happened last year during the pandemic. Same with GEHLEE. It rooted from the fact that I was having a hard time accepting that we are in this new normal, that we cannot do the things the way we used to do before. So at around March, our government announced that we'll be having a lockdown. So that being said, all of us had to stay indoors. We cannot go out, right? So that was the first quarter of the year of 2020. And at that time, I was still adjusting as a new title holder as Miss Teen Glam International. And it was a lifelong dream for me to achieve that dream. It took me almost 12 years just to be where I am. And then this just happened, this pandemic just happened. And I asked myself, like, why am I here? Do I really deserve this? Or I've waited for so long to achieve this dream, and now that I'm here, it just stopped in an instant because of this pandemic. And for many days and for many weeks, I kept on crying. Honestly, here in my room, I kept on crying and asking myself, what can I do now? I can't go out. I cannot continue my engagements. And then around April, I started to see things from a different perspective. I tried to see the good. I tried to make use of what I have, which is social media. And I told myself, you know what? Your reign may be through virtual, it may be through online, but it's okay. As long as you can reach out to people, you're being able to inspire them, it is fine. You just have to go and keep moving forward. So I thought it was getting better, it was getting fine. But then at around late April, I found out that my designer passed away. He was one of the sponsors for my gowns during the pageant, and he was also a close friend, and then he passed away. And then I had to cope with that. I had to adjust with him being gone. And then at around June, I got word that my pageant coach passed away. And his name is Coach Rocky, and he's the one who trained me in preparation for the internationals. So, in a span of around 2 months, I lost two people who are so close to me and who were a part of my journey just to help me be where I am right now. And then on July, we had our online classes. We had to adjust from in person to online. So I had to adjust again with this new setting. And then at around July to August, something happened again. And even if I cannot share that right now in person, it is something that happened here in our family that made us really sad. And at the same time, we felt like, oh no, it's like we're in danger now. So that was the feeling. And I had to go through that again. So I had to adjust over and over and over again. And then, because of it, here's the thing. I did not tell anyone of my story. I did not share it with my friends or with anyone, because I thought if I'm going to share this experience of mine, I might just bring others down, or they might feel down because of me. So I kept it all up, and then, like I said earlier, it bottled up. It weighed upon me, and then as a result of it, on October, I had a complete breakdown. And during that breakdown, I was in the middle of two speaking engagements. I got invited to become a panel speaker for another talk, and at the same time, I also got invited to become a co-host for a show. And so just imagine, in the camera, I was smiling, I was laughing, and then I was being active. I was sharing, my insights about so many things, and people thought that I was fine, but deep down, I was really breaking down. I really wanted to cry and everything, but on the outside, I look okay, but on the inside, I'm not. And I think that is mental health in itself when it comes to the negative side. When you decide not to share anyone, when you decide not to open up, it bottles up on you, and then at the end, it will just cause you a breakdown. So that's what I've been through, and my apologies if it is so long. My story became so long. But then again, I'm just sharing this story to all of you just to make everyone realize that you are not alone. If you're going through something, it is okay. And please do share it with people around you. Please open up to your mom, to your dad, or to any one of your families and friends. Just tell them that what you're going through, because it's okay. It will not make you any less of a human being if you admit that you're not okay. It's part of who we are, it's part of life. And then when I told my psychologist my story, what I've been through throughout the year, he told me that, what you've been through, it's very difficult, because from time and time again, you had to adjust to different scenarios. And then he told me that for the first time, he gave me a diagnosis. He told me that you have what we call an adjustment disorder, because it is normal for human beings to experience things that will make you adjust to your surroundings, and it usually takes 2 to 3 weeks. That is the normal adjustment period of a human being. It takes 2 to 3 weeks. But in my case, I had to adjust for months, because almost every month, a lot of things would happen to me, a lot of things. And so I had to adjust and adjust and adjust, and because I had to keep on adjusting, my body and my mind is having a hard time to really process everything. And so he told me, I know you are a beauty queen and you're very busy in your life, but you must also take time to rest. Take the time, to relax, just focus on you. I know you really want to do this. I know it's really your commitment, but also think about yourself, because how can you serve other people if you cannot even look after your own self? So that's very important. So thank you so much for listening. It's a quite long. It's a long story, but as of now, I'm okay now. I feel much better knowing that I'm not alone, and I'm here with all of you, and you all shared your stories. So thank you so much for that. And now let's move on to the third question, how can we promote mental health? Knowing our stories, what we've been through in life, let's move on to that. So, Miss Jasmine?
Thank you. I'm a massive believer that education is key. The fear and stigma around mental health comes from the misconceptions that further stem from ignorance. If we can eliminate that ignorance, then the misconceptions have nothing to feed on. They can't grow. It will further abolish the fear and stigma that surrounds it. I don't believe I would have faced bullying for having anxiety if mental health was more widely understood. A way that we can educate and promote mental health is by doing this, by talking. Sharing our experiences can help those struggling realise that they're not alone and that it's okay not to be okay. There's no shame in speaking out, and it doesn't make you less of who you are. It can help to build you up by getting the help. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Miss Jasmine. Let's move on to Miss Jelly. So, how can we promote mental health?
Okay, in my opinion, there are a lot of ways for us to promote mental health. One of them is to have a good conversation with a family member or a friend or just anybody who you know needs somebody to talk to. You can start by asking them how they're doing, and this will encourage them to open up to you. It'll let them know that someone cares for them. And yeah, when they talk to you, it's important to just take time to listen to them and give them your advice afterwards. Another way that we could promote mental health is to suggest ways via social media on how to effectively manage stress. It can be by sharing your passions, new discoveries, and skills. And it's also really important to be educated about it, because the more you know, the more you can share about your experiences. Also, another way that you can promote mental health is to encourage kind and non-judgmental words. We have to be accepting when people open up to us. We have to let them know that it's okay not to be okay and that they're not fighting their battles alone. Lastly, we could adapt to a healthier lifestyle. We could exercise to get ourselves moving, eat healthier meals, get enough quality sleep, and surrounding us with people who make us feel happy and secure and people with a positive outlook. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jelly. And right now, we are doing just that. We are using social media as a way for us to promote mental health through this panel discussion. So, Miss Sudeshna, same question. How can we promote mental health?
I believe that we should start by telling those near us, like our friends, our families, our neighbors, people in the society, people we know. That is the best way to start from. And from my personal experience, most parents do not actually know how to handle it when their children come up to them and tell them that they're battling from mental issues. They usually panic themselves and they do not know how to react, how to ease them up. So I think that we can start by educating parents a little bit more about it, and then we can also be more. We should also be a little bit more caring towards our friends. We should tell them that it's okay, we're there for them. In the society, there are so many people like shop vendors you visit and people who you meet during your daily run, daily jogs. Those people, you can just like let them know that it's okay, you're someone who can be trusted. And of course, there is social media nowadays, which plays a very big platform in spreading awareness. So we can also like share a little bit of inspirational posts every day. We can share our personal stories and try to get our followers and people who inspire us to know that everything's gonna be alright. It's just a matter of time. So that's all I can say for now. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Miss Sudeshna. Let's now move on to Miss Eva Grant.
So there are many ways you can promote mental health, one of which is promoting in schools and education centres, whether it's universities or general public schools. So you could get speakers come into the schools, have an assembly, whether it's virtual assembly during these hard and unprecedented times, or whether it's in person in an actual school. You could get teachers and people to share personal experiences, have PowerPoint presentations, telling people what the causes and what they go through are. There are another way in which you can do this. I've done this personally. I've got many beauty queens from around the world to explain personal situations that they've gone through personally, and also ways that they can help each other. So whether it's you can go see someone, talking to someone is the first right thing of helping yourself, or different ways you can help yourself. I found a way which is really good, which is you can write little notes every time someone says something nice to you, or you've had something nice to you said, or something nice has happened to you, thought, oh, that's really nice. You can put that in a jar, write on a piece of paper, put it in a jar, and every time you feel a little down, just pick it out of the jar and read it, and it can make you feel really happy about yourself sometimes, and sometimes feeling happiest can make you feel like there's light at the end of the tunnel. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much to all of your answers. And from each answer, I observed that there's this one word that kept on coming back, which is the word education. And so I believe, and we can all agree, that it is very important to first be educated about this matter. It's very important to open up ourselves about this issue. And like what Ms. Sudeshna said, the first step is to start a conversation. That's the starter right there. It's very relevant to say that right now, because each time that we try to say something about it, I encountered actually people, stopping me like, oh, wait, it's about mental health. I'm sorry, but I don't want to know about that. So there are actually people who are not eager to learn about it. So a follow-up question to my fellow queens, how do you handle that? Let's say you encountered a person who said that, oh, it's about mental health. I'm sorry, but I'm not interested. So how do you deal with that? Let's start with Miss Jasmine.
Thank you. I'd first follow up with their question with asking them why. Like, what's happened to them or what's been said to them to make them think that a topic of mental health isn't an acceptable topic to have. The first step for someone who's struggling to get better is by talking about it. And if people think that it's not okay to talk about it, then how is anyone ever meant to get to feeling back to their normal self? Establishing why that person feels that such a taboo topic can be a step in also educating them to realise that it's not taboo. There's nothing wrong with talking about it. And the stigma that surrounds it, it's just completely wrong. There's no other way of putting it. It's detrimental to so many people's health not talking about it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jasmine. How about Jelly?
When I am talking with my friends and they when I try to talk to them about how they're feeling and they seem a bit distant, I try to let them know that it's okay if they don't want to talk about it, but I'm always there for them and that I care about them, because I don't want them to feel like I don't want them to feel like I think that they're seeking for attention, because this is an important topic. And whether you're seeking attention or not, it's important to open up about it, because you're never alone. There are people who care about you, and it's okay to talk about your feelings. And yeah, someone's always there for you.
Well, thank you so much. How about Miss Sudeshna?
I think that if I ever encounter someone like that, the best way to go about it will be masking our true message with words. Like they say, words hold a lot of power. We do not have to directly tell them that what we're saying is about mental health, but we could also put it in form of a story or something and just get the message across to them, so they do not feel like I said no, I should still talk about it, but they'll also get the message across, and they can also retain the little bit of privacy that they want. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much. And lastly, Miss Eva Grant. You're currently on mute. I think your microphone is off.
Sorry.
It's alright.
There are lots of people who don't believe in mental health and actually are suffering themselves and are probably in denial. I would say to someone who doesn't believe, I hope there is hope for you. And if you ever need to talk to someone, I'm always here for you. And there are always other people out there for you as well. Whether it's a family member, friend, or someone in the medical front, there are always people there who will help you. You can do this by texting someone during these hard times, or when this is over, you can go see them in person. But just know that there is someone out there who is willing to help you.
Yes, I do agree with all of your answers. Very wonderful answers. And now we have reached the middle part of our panel discussion. And so we'll be taking a 5-minute break. So if you want to have a retouch, you can retouch your makeup or drink a glass of water, sit back and relax for a while. And after 5 minutes, we'll be right back. Thank you so much.
All right, hello, good evening, everyone. Once again, we're live here on Primo Modelo TV and streaming the second panel discussion led by Mariel PRION, the Miss Teen Glam International 2020, which is focusing on the topic for path to self-enlightenment and talks about mental health awareness. And before we go back to all our panel speakers and our panel moderator, so all our viewers out there, please do stay tuned. And we're not done yet. And also, don't forget to like and click the share button of this live episode so we can reach more people and hope to reach a lot of people who are experiencing this kind of situation and also relate to this topic. And you are all welcome to share your thoughts and questions, and we'll put it on the screen so we can read it all out for you. And also, you can also ask directly your questions to one of the panel speakers, whoever you'd like to ask to. And also don't forget, please do subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are live today on our official YouTube channel of Primo Modelo TV. You can now watch us live there. And also, we are very active on our Instagram account. If you want to do live here on Primo Modelo TV, you can just tap the message or DM button, and you can ask which schedule you'd like to, and we'll rearrange that, and it's all free. And let's welcome again Mariel Prion, our panel moderator. All right, good evening, Mariel. And I just want to congratulate you, Mariel, for your successful first panel discussion. And today is another new, timely topic and relatable topic for everyone else. And yeah, so let's go back to our panel speakers. Good evening to Eva Grant, Jelly Danka, Sudeshna, and also Jasmine Pierce.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our second segment. For our second segment, this is where the title comes in. We are now in the path towards self enlightenment. And so, for our fourth question, do you have any advice for people who are undergoing mental health struggles? Let's first begin with Miss Jasmine.
Thank you. My advice would be to please talk to anyone you trust about how you feel. Whether that's a family member, a member of staff at your school, your manager, a member of your hospital, like a doctor or a nurse, a friend, or simply finding an advocate for mental health via social media and dropping them a message. I guarantee you they won't mind. Time is really important when you're going through mental health struggles. Finding the inner strength to speak out can be so hard, but I promise that you do have that strength inside you. There is always a door open to you. It's so easy just to sit in the dark, but you don't have to. There's a way out and steps you can take to feel more like yourself again. The dark room you're in doesn't have to last forever. There's always an unlocked door you can walk through. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your wonderful advice. Let us now go to Miss Jelly.
Hi. My advice for anybody who's going through mental struggles is to always stay positive and take a break from time to time when you know you need it. And it's okay to cry. It's definitely okay to cry. In 5th grade, my teacher told me that tears can help clean out your eyes so you'll see clearer and understand your situation better. And after you take time to think about your situation, you can eventually see a solution to your problem. And another thing is that it's important to acknowledge your battles, and you should open up to your support group, which is most likely your family or some friends. And it's also important to, seek professional help. And the hashtag Stop the Stigma that I use on my posts is meant for, it means that we as an empowered generation should be more aware of these mental issues that others are going through. And we would like to encourage them to speak up, and we would like to help somehow to stop making their struggles worse. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Jelly. And like what our two speakers have mentioned so far, Miss Jasmine told us to number one, it takes time. Just take your time, and I know that at first it may be really hard to say what you feel, but at some point you will reach that day in your life wherein, you know what, I'm ready. I'm ready to open up. I'm ready to share with my friend, with my family member, and that's okay. And you have a support group with you. You're not alone. And there's always light at the end of every tunnel. There's always hope, and life goes on. And for Miss Jelly, she mentioned that it's okay to take a break and take time for yourself. It's fine to have hashtag self-care to focus on your self-development as well as human being. And it's okay to cry. I agree with that 100%, It's okay to acknowledge your emotions because, again, emotions are a part of who we are as human beings. We should not set that aside. It's a part of us. So now let us move on to Miss Sudeshna.
Hi, like Miss Jasmine first said that we should open up to someone we trust, and I just want to say that I really agree with that. When I had mental health issues, the first thing I did was to open up to my online friends. You'd be surprised at how people you never met in real life are so supportive than people you actually talk to and meet in everyday life. So I just want to let you all know that it doesn't matter if you met that person in real life or it's an online friend. As long as you feel safe around this person and you feel like, yes, this is a person I do want to share my troubles with, just feel free to do that. And one more thing I'm gonna add is that I'm not gonna say that it's gonna be alright or you should just be cheering up or everything's gonna be okay because I'm sure that right now if you're going through this, you wouldn't want to hear this because you've heard this countless of time from so many people that you'll be tired by it. But I'm just gonna say that be yourself, fight it. You just don't have to fight, accept it. Just know that yes, I'm suffering from this illness and it's completely fine. It's completely normal. I'm gonna get through it like the warrior I am. Just believe in yourself and definitely do try to do things which you feel like helps you. It can be painting, listening to music, just walking around, just anything that helps you. It can even be looking outside the window, looking at things to admire. Just do something which can bring that at least that 1% of happiness in those gloomy days. They really do help a lot. So yes, that's what I'm saying. And of course, do seek professional help. And if for people in India, something I'm gonna add is that I have been to like 4 psychiatrists up to date and 2 counselors, none of which were that great. They aren't seriously that great, and I stopped after a couple of visits. So I'm just gonna say, if you do want to go to a psychiatrist or a counselor, just be careful with who you're going to because some of them can really mess up your mind, and some will help you out. So ask your friends and family first before you choose someone. Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much, Miss Sudeshna. And lastly, Miss Eva, what is your answer or your insights?
So, like what Jasmine said, it does take time. It does take time to feel good in yourself because it's not going to happen overnight. Whether it's you need to talk to your friends, family, loved ones, or a person who knows how to help you, it does take time to make this happen. What I would give to you is find something that makes you feel happy. Like you could look out a window, find a hobby that makes you feel good. For me, I like to dance, and that makes me feel good in myself. Whether it's singing, just feeling good in yourself can sometimes help you get in that right direction, making you feel happy. And sometimes also talking to someone that can help see the light at the end of the tunnel. Thank you.
Thank you so much for all of your answers. And going back to the last two speakers, Miss Sudeshna said that we have to open up to people. And it's okay if that person is not from your family or your friends. It can be a friend from online because sometimes we connect best with those people. Like for example, I have a very close friend and she's from South Africa and we just met through Instagram and now we're the best of friends. So you never really know the connections that we can make with people from around the world. And like what she said, it's fine, it's okay as long as you trust that person. Just keep on going, keep on sharing your stories. And like what Miss Eva said as well, it is a process. It takes time. It may be long, it may be short, but it's a process. It's a part of your life. And do not rush. I think in my part, that's the advice that I could give to people. Number one is do not rush the process. Just go with the flow of it and just absorb everything that you're going through. Process everything. You don't have to think that you're in a race against time because you're not. You are just at your own pace of your own life. So it's fine. If you're taking longer than everyone else, it's okay. It may take you weeks, months, others, it will take them years. That's okay, as long as at the end goal will be achieved, and that is to feel better and to overcome whatever you're going through. And I really like what Miss Sudeshna said about I will get through it. I know that she has been through a lot since her childhood, and hearing her say that I will get through it, it just shows a strong mindset, and that makes all the difference. And I think that's something that we should also take in as well. We have to develop a very strong mindset. We need to see the good in what's happening, and I know it's not going to be easy, and being positive is not an all cure solution, but just knowing that there is hope and that you will be able to survive and get through it, I think it's enough motivation for all of us to push through and to keep on going. So thank you once again to all of your answers. And now we'll be moving on to the very last question for the event proper before we move on to the Q&A. All right, so the last question is, what is your message to all of the people from around the world who are watching right now or who will get to see this? Do you have any message in relation to mental health? Let's first start with Miss Jasmine.
Thank you. My main message would be to take the time to educate yourself. It's easy to get comfortable in not completely knowing it and kind of then abdicating any responsibility for having to help someone you know. But in reality, that person isn't necessarily asking for the world. They're asking for a hug when we can, obviously, or a little text in the morning saying, "How are you?" They're asking for that little bit of rock, of being able to feel as though they're not alone. And whether they choose to tell the world or just tell you as an individual, it's important to be there for them, just to give them that little bit of a, I am here for you. I don't necessarily understand what you're going through, but I'm going to do my best to help. But equally, anyone who's watching who is struggling with mental health issues, make sure you take the time to know yourself and understand that, as you said, that it's a process. You're not going to wake up one day and feel absolutely fine. But one day you will see that there is light at the end of the tunnel and there is a way out. You've just got to keep positive in yourself and understand that it will be okay. And it's okay not to be okay at the point as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Jasmine, and I do agree with what you said. There's this quotation and it says, "It is the little things that matter most in life." And when you mentioned that through a text, through a smile, and through a hug, I think it's enough validation for that person, that it's your way of saying that I'm here for you. I may not be able to fully understand what you're going through, but just through my smile, through my hugs to you, or through a simple text of, "I hope you're okay, I hope you're doing fine." I'm sure that it's helping them in a way as well. It will help them make themselves feel better, knowing that they're not alone and that their stories are being heard. And I encountered this person, and that person told me, it's okay not to give the proper advice for that person. If that person is going through a problem, it's okay to not give them the solution. It's okay to not give the advice, but as long as you're there, your presence is there, it is more than enough already. The fact that you're telling them that they're not alone and that you are with them in this journey, that's enough. You do not have to tell them what to do. You just have to be there. That's okay in itself. It's already something that you've done for that person. And now let's move on to Miss Jelly.
My message to the youth is to always listen to your parents. They raised you and they only want the best for you. And when they tell you to prioritize your education, you should listen to them, but don't stress out over it too much. Take it easy and keep calm. And like I said earlier, take a break from time to time. And it's all in managing stress. Stress is a part of life. My advice for that is to keep calm most of the time and to avoid overthinking. Another thing is that our mental health is just as important as our physical health. And if we love our body and if we're taking care of it, then it's important to remember that we also have our mental health to take care of. Because when we are psychologically, emotionally, and mentally stable and healthy, we become empowered. And almost nothing can stop us from being the best version of ourselves that we can be and from being a very important part of society.
Thank you, Jelly. And you're right. Just take it easy. Don't be so hard on yourself. When you know that you're going through something difficult, don't blame yourself for anything. Don't say that, I think it's my fault that I'm going through this, or I think I have done something in the past that now contributes to what I'm doing. Don't overthink it. It's okay that you're going through it as long as you know that you'll make it through and you'll be able to overcome it. And that's the most important thing. So thank you so much, Miss Sudeshna. It is your turn.
Yes, hi. Something that Miss Jelly just said is that we should listen to our parents because they know what's the best for us. I completely agree with that, but I also want to let this out there that if there's someone in this life who's having parent relationship problems or they know someone who has some of these problems, it's probably best that you know the certain amount that you should listen to it because I do know a couple of friends who have abusive parents, not just physically but mentally abusive parents. So I'm just not no disrespect to Miss Jelly. What she said is absolutely true, but I just want to let you know that if you do have such parents, just know that it's completely fine to be yourself and try not to listen to them. And you should definitely know your own limits and your own boundaries. And so one message I'll give to the youth is that it's completely alright what you're feeling right now. It's completely normal. There is a quote that I once read somewhere and it stuck with me till date. It says that don't let what you cannot do interfere with what you do. It's by John Wooden. And I do believe that it's completely true. Like if you are going through a phase right now and you feel like I can't do this because I don't have the energy for that or the strength for that. It's just your mind talking. It's listening to your heart. Just in the morning you wake up and you feel like it's gonna be a tough day. I don't know how I can push through it. Don't need to just wake up. Just close your eyes, sleep for a little bit more, and when then wake up and just like go to the mirror and look at yourself and tell yourself that I'm strong. I can do it. Just talking to yourself in the mirror really helps boost your confidence. It's not something you must do, but it's something you can do. And one thing is that I do have lots of panic attacks when I'm stressed. So just keep your book with you, which you enjoy, or listening to music, or inspiring foods, or things like that. Really helps a lot. And of course, if you really feel like you need some help, if you feel that yes, I can't do this anymore, or I think that this is it for me, don't just keep that mentality. Talk to someone, let them know that I'm feeling like this, that it's all over for me, and let that person guide you because that person really knows how to guide you through all of it. So yeah, just be yourself. Don't stress too much about it. What's gonna happen tomorrow? Don't think of it. Just live in the present, be yourself, and believe in yourself. That's the most important thing. Believe in yourself. Thank you.
Thank you, Sudeshna. And I agree with what you said that everyone has a different experience. And thank you for pointing that out when you said that there are also people who encounter abusive parents, and that even if people would tell you to open up to them, there are others who are having a difficult time in doing so because, again, their relationship with their parents is different. And it's a good thing you opened that to all of us. It just shows that everyone has a different experience. We may be going through the same storm, but not everyone is going through, like, not everyone is at the same boat. We all have our own struggles in life. And it can also involve personal relationships like with families and friends. And I also want to tell to everyone that it shows that we all have different standpoints. What we mean by standpoints is that even if we are experiencing this state of, let's say, mental health, or let's say we're all advocating for it, we're all passionate in something or in some way, I want to be clear to everyone that each experience is different. And when we hear different stories from different people from different parts of the world, we can bring those stories together and actually make more sense and understand what each of us are going through. It will build up the diverse stories that we all have, and somehow, once we hear all of it, it will make sense. And that's very beautiful to know that even if we have different stories, once it is heard, once we all connect the dots, it will make more sense and we can use that newfound knowledge in actually doing our part as spokespersons for mental health. And lastly, let us now move on to Miss Eva Grant.
I would just like to say it's okay to feel sad, it's okay to scream and shout, it's okay to feel angry. Just know that there are people there for you. Whether it's a stranger, because you might think strangers won't judge you. Anyone is here. I'm here for you. I'm always on my phone. I'm like glued to my phone. If you want to message me, you can message anyone. You can message a family member, friend, or even a stranger, like I said. Just know that there are thousands of people there for you. Sometimes you can like talk to people. There are various different websites and places that people know that there are people there for you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And once again, you indeed highlighted the fact that we are not alone. You do not have to feel that way because there will be always someone out there who will be willing to help and listen to you. And just a follow-up question for all of you queens. Do you have any projects or events or upcoming activities in relation to mental health? And you can mention it right now and promote it to all the viewers. Let's start with Miss Jasmine.
Thank you. So for Mental Health Day in March, I'm going to be asking a range of queens to share their own stories for each of those 7 days. And then following that, I'm going to be launching a new book campaign. I found that reading has been my escape from my anxiety. It took me out of such a dark place and it put my head somewhere else for a few minutes or hours, and I could get completely absorbed in a world where my anxiety didn't exist. And talking to other people about this, I found that others have also shared that same solace in books and reading. So I'm going to be asking a range of people to share their favourite book or to share what reading means to them. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Jasmine, and we are here to support you all the way with all of your activities. How about Miss Jelly? Do you have any planned projects here in the Philippines or around the world?
Okay, so, well, I used to go live and entertain people from the Philippines on Kumu. And another thing is that I post about mental health awareness on my Facebook page so that people, when people view my page, they are aware that I care about other people's mental health and that I'm always there for them. Again, like the other the other speakers said, someone's always there, and I would just like to say that I'm one of those people who care about you. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Jelly. How about Miss Sudeshna? Do you have any projects there in India that you would like to promote to us?
As a finalist of the Mystic India hosted by the International Glamour Project, we have just launched a 90-day fundraiser in collaboration with the Dream and Believe Foundation. Since my platform is mental health, I would really appreciate it if everyone out there could just take the time out to visit the link in my bio, on my Instagram page, which is @Sue_Valley_ATHENA. Please visit it out and check it out. And a little donation could help change the world. The donations which you will be giving us it will all go in organizing events for people who have mental issues. Plus, most people in India in rural areas do not have the funds to actually visit a doctor. So we will be using that fund to help get them professional help. So please donate. Even $1 could be really helpful to us. Please support me. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And lastly, to Miss Eva, do you have any projects there in the UK that you want to promote?
I've previously just done a video that I released about world positivity, and I got pageant girls from around the world to help me with that. But I'm always open and I'm always making videos and different posts to help people with their mental health on my Instagram and also my Facebook. I have a group that people can talk to each other on, and if you want, you can pop me a message. I can add you to the group, just so you know there is someone always there who you can talk to. And if you want to talk to me on my Instagram, it's it's pageant_Eva Marie. So if you want to talk on there, you can always there, and know I'm always on my phone. Like, it never leaves me. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. And it's very amazing to hear all of your projects, and that gives me hope. It gives a lot of people hope that there is indeed light at the end of the tunnel through your projects and your advocacies as mental health advocates. And as the panel moderator, I'll also be sharing some projects as well, because originally I'm a nature advocate. I advocate for the environment, but just recently I started to focus now also on mental health, knowing that I've been through it. And since I know what it's like to be in it, I now want to promote that. And just last night, I received an invitation from Call a Friend Philippines, and I got invited to become their ambassador for mental health. So it's something new. It is a brand new chapter, a new journey, and I hope that all of you will follow on all of our advocacies, on all of our activities. And to all the viewers watching right now, if you have heard all of our projects, we hope for your support. And hopefully through this panel discussion, we were able to share and educate a lot of you for tonight. And thank you all so much once again to our panel speakers for joining us for Queen's Conference Path to Self-Enlightenment #Mental Health. So we are now at the Q&A portion from the audience. Miss Miyaguchi, do we have any questions from the audience who are watching right now? Okay, so we have our first question from Miss Sally Grace. Ladies, do you think mental health awareness should be discussed in schools or be a part of the curriculum? So who would like to answer that question? Who would like to start?
Let me start.
Oh, sure.
I definitely believe that it should be discussed in schools and also be part of curriculum, because it's actually from school, like when you're in the school stage, that mental health actually affects you. Most of the teenagers in schools nowadays are usually the ones suffering badly from mental health. So a little bit of guidance from the school itself could help a lot in gaining knowledge as to what is actually happening to them. So yeah, I definitely believe that a little discussion or activity would be very helpful to the students as well as the teachers. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Sudeshna. Does anyone else would like to answer the question?
I'm happy
Yeah.
to.
Please go ahead, Ms. Jasmine.
I definitely believe that it needs to be discussed in schools. I find that children and young adults are extremely impressionable, so helping them to understand it at such a young age can help them later in life, both personally and also to help them support other people who might be suffering with mental health. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Miss Jelly. Do you have an answer as well?
Yes. Well, I believe that it's very important for schools to educate their students about mental health, because it's very important, because that's where children go almost every day. So when they finally leave school, it'll be helpful to them, so that when they do encounter issues with their mental health, they know how to cope because they learned it in school. So yeah, it's very important, especially at school, to spread awareness about this topic. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Miss Eva Grant. Do you have an answer for the question?
Yeah, so previously what everyone else just said, growing on that, it will help people in the long run in their life. So if they do encounter mental health problems, they know what to do because they learned it in school. So they'll know that they can always talk to people and know that there are always open places that they can go because they learned it in school.
Thank you so much for all of your answers, and I agree with all of it. I believe it is indeed time to introduce mental health to our curriculum, and that people need to learn more about it, especially the kids, because later in high school, is a really crucial part. It is a time that you are entering adolescence, and therefore you're adjusting to this new environment as well as to your body. Your body is adjusting to puberty, and so I'm sure that there will be changes in your body, and also people will notice that, and at some point there will be those who will comment on it. And really, high school, I can really say that it's a very challenging time indeed, a very crucial period. And just the fact of introducing mental health to the educational curriculum, I believe that it is indeed timely and relevant. So, Miss Miyaguchi, do we have any questions? Oh, wait, here we have
Yes.
another. All right. All right. So, is it healthy to have a dirty mind if you have concrete evidence? So, what exactly? So, to Miss Jermel, what exactly do you mean by dirty mind? Like, what do you mean by that? Like someone
Or
with
the concrete evidence, yeah.
yeah, and the
Or maybe
concrete evidence,
because you are thinking negative to other people. It can
or
be like that.
or I
Yeah.
think like what Jermel is asking is it healthy to have like a negative perception towards mental health if you have a concrete evidence? Is that it? Or like,
I don't know.
the point of view. Do you think it's healthy that there are other people who have negative assumptions about mental health? Or do you think
It's
it's okay or something like that? Different
but
perspective.
but I don't know what he means about if you have concrete evidence about what, right? Or
Yeah.
if it's talking about the topic of mental health awareness,
Mhm.
then what can you say, guys? Is it healthy to have a dirty mind or being negative about thinking of things when it comes to talking about the mental health awareness or something like that? So what can you say, Mariel?
I'm still processing the question, but I think this person is asking that is it healthy for all of us, to our environment or to the people around us, that there are people out there who have negative perceptions towards mental health? Do I think it's okay or do I think it's healthy? Well, for me, I think that um, when people have negative assumptions, or let's say they have their own point of view towards something, even if it is not about mental health, I think it can also be used in a good way, because when you encounter that kind of person, when you, let's say, came across someone who has a negative assumption about mental health, then you can correct that. You can start a conversation and open up to that person about it. I see it not something as negative, but rather as a challenge. When a person has a negative assumption towards mental health or the environment or any other social issues, it's okay, because people have their own say about so many things. They have their own perspectives. And it's okay to acknowledge that they have their own perspectives, as long as you will be there to guide them. You can be some sort of guidance towards that person. So, for me, is it healthy? Is it okay to have people who have negative assumptions about mental health? I think for me it is, because it can open up a conversation, and at the same time, you can challenge that person's mindset and actually help them in a way to understand it better. So that
All
would
right.
be my answer.
Thank you, Mariel. Wow, I can hear my voice right there. Okay. I have one more question for you girls before we go on to the next question.
Mhm.
Okay. So yes, I have a question for all of you girls. Sometimes I do have friends, a lot of friends who are going through hard times, especially when it comes to the mental health. I have a lot of people I know that just last year, right? It was the peak of the pandemic, and some of my friends just took suicide. Yes, suicide. Yes, and also sometimes I try to ask my friends like, "Hey, how are you doing? Are you fine?" They find it offensive when we ask how they are doing. I know they're not fine, because I can see they are not really active in the social media because social media is the only thing I can use where I can see updates to other people's lives, especially for my family and friends. But how about you girls? What do you think, or what can you say? Is it sometimes offensive being asking other people's how they are doing? Are they fine? How is their mental health? Are they depressed? Are they going through something? Or yeah. So anyone can answer that question.
Who would like to start in answering the question? Please raise your hand.
Yes. Do you find it offensive? All right. Let's go
Okay,
to
go.
Jasmine Pierce.
Thank you. I think it's asking someone how they are. I wouldn't necessarily say is offensive. I think that someone who isn't okay, but are trying really hard to portray themselves as okay, can sometimes find the question, as it hits home a bit, it kind of makes them realise that they're not okay, even though they're really trying to be. So rather than offensive, I think it can sometimes be more of a very quick eye-opener for some people, which they weren't necessarily ready for. So I think rather for the people who are finding it offensive or a bit too heavy of a question, is to maybe ask them what have they done today. And sometimes even opening up to them that you're not okay or you're struggling can help them realise that it's okay to not be okay, and it's also okay to ask that question to someone and explain to them why you need a little bit more support. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Jasmine. And who else would like to answer the question? All right, Sudeshna.
I don't really think that it's offensive. I think it mainly depends on the person's mentality. Because some people would actually like to ask how they are so they can tell you the story, open up to you. But some people would actually find that quite offensive because they have heard that so many times that they're really tired of hearing it. And in that situation, I think just giving them a little handwritten note or a chocolate would actually help quite a lot. So if ever you encounter someone like that, just buy a little chocolate or a little handwritten note and give it to them, let them know that you're there with it. It will help a lot. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Does anyone else would like to answer the question?
All right. Thank you so much, guys, and I appreciate your answers on that. How about you, Mariel? Do you want to ask questions to our fellow queens here before we go off and end this topic?
I actually saw a question here in the comments from Facebook. It's from Miss Ariane, and she asked, "What do you want to say to the people that are making fun of persons experiencing mental health disorders?" Would anyone like to answer? Miss Jelly, go ahead.
What I can say to the people who are making fun of people who are going through a lot is to take time to consider their feelings. You know, put yourself in their shoes and imagine how they would feel if they're going through a lot. And I would like to suggest to avoid adding up to their problems or stress, and instead being someone who they can trust, who they can talk to, someone who makes them feel happy and positive, instead of someone who gives them negative emotions or just makes them feel uncomfortable, especially when they're going through a lot. Thank you.
All
Thank
right.
you, Jen. Who else would
Yes.
like to answer the question? Oh, there's. Okay, so let's go back to our flow of the speakers. Miss Jasmine, please do go first, and then Miss Sudeshna, and then Miss Eva Grant.
Thank you. I'd say that people who make fun of those experiencing mental health disorders are those who are ignorant to the topic. I experienced bullying myself for having anxiety from people who didn't necessarily understand it. And while ignorance can sometimes be used as a scapegoat, and people can say, oh, well, I didn't realise that would be offensive. There's also another part to that to say that if you don't necessarily understand it and your only comment towards it is calling someone an attention seeker, then it's probably best not to say anything at all. Take the time to educate yourself on the topic and figure out ways that you could be supportive. But equally, if you've got no intention of being supportive to the person, putting them down is hardly going to make either of you feel better whatsoever. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Then let's proceed to Ms. Sudeshna.
Something that I've noticed is that most people who bully us regarding mental health or something else, they are usually the ones who have something going on in their private life, and they usually use that bullying as an outsource to cover up their personal life. So they don't become an outcast in the school or society. They usually have that mindset where they think that if I let people know that I'm weak or going through problems, I'll be known as a weak person. So they usually try to bully. And another thing I'm going to say is that making fun of someone because of their mental health is not right at all. Because that person is already going through so much. And when I went through mental health, if someone told me a little thing and a little negative thing, I would just crumble altogether. In fact, just a few days earlier, I was in training for my model training at 𝐐𝐲𝐍'𝐼 Institute. One of the contestants there told me that I shouldn't judge people because I'm not perfect myself. And I do know it, but it's really close to my heart. And that night, I really crumbled down, but I tried to tell myself that I'm okay, it's completely fine, I'm definitely not perfect, but I can be myself. So just put yourself in the other person's shoes before saying something about that person. It really helps. Thank you.
Thank you, Sudeshna. And lastly, Ms. Eva Grant.
Querying on what everyone else has already said, there are lots of people who who don't believe in mental health, but actually they are suffering themselves. They're actually in denial. So I would say to anyone who doesn't believe, I hope that there is someone there for you, and if not, I'm here for you. So yeah.
Well, thank you all so much for your wonderful answers. This has been a very meaningful and educational panel discussion. So once again, thank you so much to all of you for being here tonight. To all of our viewers, thank you for watching. Thank you for staying tuned with us. And to the panel speakers, thank you so much for your time and your effort and your dedication in just by being here with us for tonight in this virtual panel discussion. It may not be in person, but hopefully someday we can all meet again in person and actually have an in-person panel discussion in the future. So thank you all so much, and that concludes our second panel discussion entitled Queen's Conference, Path to Self-Enlightenment, #Mental Health. Thank you all so much and have a great day.
Congratulations, everyone, and good night from the Philippines.
Thank you all. It was nice meeting you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Once again, I'm Mia Gusi, and I'm your host for this evening. And I would like to congratulate and thank you, Mariel Prion, for giving us another exciting and interesting panel discussion and new topic. And you are watching live here on Primo Modelo TV online channel. We are live today on our official YouTube channel and our official Facebook page. And also, we are live today on the official Facebook page of Little and Teen Glam International. Thank you so much to all the people who gave their presence here, joined us together here on this beautiful panel discussion led by our panel moderator, Mariel Prion. And thank you so much to all the people who asked their questions and also gave their thoughts about the topic path to self enlightenment. And also, it's all about the mental health awareness. And congratulations to the Crow Productions Incorporated, who produced the Miss Glamour Look Australia 2020 and the Mrs. Glamour Look of the Year Australia 2020. Congratulations, Christina Stokovic, and also to Mrs. Elaine Mortel. And they are going to represent the country of Australia in the upcoming international of the said pageant franchise. And anyway, that will be all for today. Thank you so much to our panel speakers and also to the people who are behind here of the Primo Modelo TV and who supported this, especially to Sir Lito Calion of Fab Manila, Philippines. Thank you so much, Sir Lito Calion. And to the Coach Naila Salon and Spa, thank you so much for unending support, sharing all our live episodes and events. And I hope to see you soon, guys, on an actual event. I can't wait. And I hope everything will be fine here in the Philippines. So stay tuned and we'll be keeping you updated. Anyway, once again, my name is Mia Gusi, and have a good night, everyone.